Sen, or SenpaiIsHome, is a content creator who makes commentary videos that are bottom of the barrel and in most cases very lazy, low effort, and poorly produced, with probably a 5-minute runtime, and in a lot of them, as has been highlighted to me by a video I saw that was ranting about Sen, which is an incredibly good video for detailing the things he's done, by the way, lack any research at all to justify the conclusions he makes, and in some of them, like his Cosmodor video, he went into that video discussing a predator allegation without doing any research at all, and without even knowing the person he was talking about or doing any research on them, simply to milk the topic for drama, which he says himself in the introduction, as he saw videos about this topic were getting views. This type of attitude when covering serious allegations is simply unacceptable in commentary, and most of the time highlights a content creator that does not deserve the platform they have. However, up till this point, I was on relatively decent terms with Sen, although he did re-upload one of my videos without any consent, without any credit, and it was like 7 minutes of my video with 30 seconds of his own input, which I then strike down, by the way, because it wasn't fair use, because he was also using Ghost of Grievous video, which they will vouch for me, was completely out of fair use, and Sen then went on a live stream trying to destroy my reputation, which I hopped on and very easily mocked him into giving up, because Sen's the type of person that's like, debate me live, so I debated him live, proved him a pussy, and won that whole debate with him admitting at the end that my strike was completely valid, and I said I'd remove it, but just to credit me in the future, because I'm a decent human being, but basically, I haven't been on good terms with Sen for quite a while. However, in recent times, Sen has kind of got back into my good books with some videos he made defending me against prison mate Luke. However, that doesn't mean that I'm going to let Sen escape all criticism under the basis of being a friend to me or someone I know. I've since unfollowed Sen since discovering this recent behaviour, and I told him in private that I would no longer be associating with him, as I don't support any of his recent behaviour or anything he's done in the past few months. So today, let's delve into the racist, transphobic, and manipulatory past of SenpaiIsHome. But before I begin, if you're new to the channel or haven't already for some reason, please do leave a like and subscribe. Listen, I'm recording this video in advance for when I'm going on holiday. I have no idea what the subscriber milestone is for this video, but genuinely, I appreciate all of the support. This video is coming out before I even hit 30k, so thank you for the recent support. I genuinely appreciate it, and if you could support me a little bit more by subscribing down below, that would be genuinely appreciated. I'm aiming for 50k by the end of the year at this point, so if you could subscribe to help me get to that milestone, which I don't think is achievable, but we'll see, please do leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications to get notified every time I upload at 6 PM GMT, 1 PM EST, and feel free to check out my multiple other social media down below. I have a Twitter down there with around 3,000 followers, I have a Discord down there with around 2,000 members, and I have multiple different social media like Instagram that doesn't have much of a following yet because I haven't promoted it. So if you want to check me out on those platforms to get to see more of me, like on Instagram you can see more of my life with like photos of what I'm doing in my life. On Twitter you can just see my opinions on multiple different drama topics that never make it to a video, or just my thoughts on general things, or how my life is going. And on Discord you can have conversations with me, feel free to tag me on my server, or on Discord you can literally just get notified by the videos, because seems that YouTube doesn't tend to notify people when I upload, which isn't very poggers considering I'm working very hard on these videos, and YouTube seems to just be like, well, unlucky, gonna promote this person instead. But nonetheless, any support you can give me or have given me in the past few months will not go unnoted. I genuinely appreciate all of the recent support, and if you want to support me just that little bit more to help me get to my next goal, please do subscribe down below. I'm an up-and-coming content creator, and I want to prove to everyone that said I could never achieve this that I can, while making content to you that genuinely helps you to understand the recent situations and understand the allegations, while not making any allegations myself that would in some way imply that a content creator has done something with certainty. I want to be completely transparent with my content, and as such, you'll notice that I make disclaimers before every video as to what I'm going to discuss and whether it's an allegation or whether it's proven. And in today's video, everything I'm going to discuss has been proven from evidence, and as such, I'll make that completely clear. The person I'm discussing today is a scumbag, and I'm going to call them out on that. But if you don't know who Sen is, or have up until this point never heard anything about him, I'd suggest you watch Kai Weiss's videos on Sen. Kai Weiss made one video where he highlighted how Sen was racist, as Sen told Kai, a black man, to stop chimping out, but it's not really my place to speak on race, so I'm going to leave Kai to talk about that, and I may go in depth on some of the things he said as regards to race later in this video. And also, Sen's made a lot of very questionable decisions when it comes to lolicon content, which Kai basically mocks, highlighting how funny it is some of the DMs that Sen sent to a catfish account, where Sen was sharing a lolly, you know what. But also there's some clips of Sen in the past, where he said that if you support that type of behavior, you're supporting digital CP, so I don't really know, that whole thing just makes me genuinely uncomfortable as a minor, and I don't really want to touch on it in the slightest. So if you want to go watch Kai's video for that, you can, and also, as I mentioned, the rant at the start also shows a lot of the screenshots and highlights some of Sen's comments towards Moist Critical, where he says that it's basically drawn CP, which, why, I don't know why you would try and incriminate yourself in that way. It's really weird, and it reminds me of the Toby drama. But I digress. Let's get right into the actual topic of this video. I'd like to start this video by going from minimal severity to maximum severity. So I'm going to start with the topic that's genuinely quite close to me and hurts me in quite a few ways. But when I called out Sen on some of his racist comments that he made publicly on Twitter, Sen quote tweeted me saying, "Stop lying and go figure out what identity you are today." Now, this is a clearly transphobic comment and is intended to target me as a minority in a way to mock me. Now, before anyone says that this is a joke, if you advocate for or support racist or transphobic jokes towards the minority in question in a hateful and toxic way like this, you are supporting transphobic behavior and racist behavior, and I don't care to listen to any excuses of, oh, it's just comedy, because this isn't funny. This is just targeted harassment and very discriminatory. It's not funny if nobody is laughing at the joke, and everyone that isn't an edgy 14-year-old on Twitter is telling you you're fucking disgusting and you shouldn't be making these comments on a public platform. It's not based or cool or a mask off funny moment. It's just fucking transphobic and gross. And then send us the smart technique to try and get this bogged down so no one sees this when they view his account by quote retweeting or just retweeting a bunch of irrelevant posts to mask it and try and make it seem like he hasn't said anything that's got people mad, which is always the technique the content creators use to avoid criticism, where they just start addressing completely random and irrelevant stuff to get people off of their back. But genuinely, those comments don't really affect me. I've had more than enough on my videos talking about that type of stuff in my life, so I don't genuinely care that much. Which is why I said that that was the least severe thing Sen's done. And now I'd like to get into the much more severe and troubling racist past of Sen, without Sen being able to excuse it with the excuse that he tried to use before of not knowing Kai was black, which in itself I simply don't believe, considering Sen made multiple videos responding to creepshow art, and in one of the clips that someone highlighted to me, Sen, as far as I can tell, must have heard in creepshow art's video that Kai and Omni were black. Otherwise, he clearly wasn't paying attention to anything that creepshow art was saying during the video, but I digress. That's completely irrelevant to the topic, as that's all based on thought crime. However, what I'm about to mention now is not based on thought crime. What I have to bring to you is proof of Sen knowingly calling a black male a chimp and saying he's chimping out because he made a comment calling out racists in the anime community. The clip you're about to see is in reference to Sen talking about a BLM activist content creator who's talking and advocating for the equality within the anime community. This content creator is called Heavenly Control, and in Sen's own screenshot that he uses, you can see Heavenly Control's profile picture is literally of him, which is a black male, and considering he's advocating for BLM, it should be 100%, maybe 200% obvious to Sen that this guy is black. Yet, Sen decides, nonetheless, to say he's chimping out. I'll play it to you now.
But holy crap, man, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to be Mr. BLM representation for the anime community, and you're just acting like a chimp. You know how chimps, chimp out and they...
Now, in my personal opinion, this highlights to me that Sen is using the terms chimping out and calling people chimps only when he's referring to black people, as he's only done it with Sen and this person to my knowledge. And that, to me, comes across as almost discriminatory. If the only time you're using the terms chimping out and chimp to refer to people you're discussing is when you're discussing black people, it comes across in a racist undertone, and seems to me like Sen was trying to mask his previous racism towards Kai under, oh no, I just didn't know, which, again, I don't buy in the slightest, and neither does anybody else with half of a brain cell. But then Sen tries to go behind everyone that disagrees with his recent actions backs, and on livestream he was shit-talking people like Peaches, me, and Manga Carmen, etc, 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 saying that we were all part of the art community and that's why we were doing this, and basically trying to make it seem like we had no backbone because we didn't support racist, transphobic, and very various other discriminatory claims and statements that Sen has made. But Sen's responses to Kai are the funniest part of this whole situation. Sen made, in his recent video, 4 minutes of content, of which he addresses Kai's video for 30 seconds in the intro. He doesn't discuss any of the allegations Kai makes, and instead, he just highlights how Kai's video is 20 minutes long, as a gotcha moment, where he's like, look, ha ha ha, this guy made 20 minutes of content discussing how creepy I am, but I'm not going to address the creepy things I've done, because I don't want people to give me backlash for it. I want my audience to believe that I'm in control of the narrative, and not that I'm doing anything wrong in any way. Now you can watch Sen's video, and you'll get the exact same belief out of it. Just like with Sen's first video responding to Kai's first video, where his first video, in this video technically he does respond to Kai, but again, his points are completely devoid of any notion to prove that he's innocent, and instead just relies on the consensus that he didn't know Kai was black, which I've now proven he did know someone else was black, that he made the same comment to, so it means nothing that Sen, quote, didn't know Kai was black, because he repeats the same actions with other black content creators. And Sen fucking knows this and doesn't care. When I tweeted about this, Sen just liked the tweet and said nothing about this. Like, he realizes that I've caught him in a fucking 4K moment, and he doesn't want to respond to bring any attention to it so his audience sees it, and as such, he's just gone completely silent despite liking the tweet, because Sen, in DMs with me, has spoke about how he thinks I'm going to be a great content creator that will go very far. I feel like Sen realizes that there's no point to him arguing with me because I'll win the argument, and as such, he just doesn't want to get any more bad terms with me, so he's liked the tweet and left it there, which is fair enough. I don't blame him for not wanting to dive his reputation further into the ground, but I'm still going to make a video on him, because his behavior has, in my opinion, been absolutely disgusting, and I don't want anyone in my community to believe that I'm associated with or support this guy's behavior. But you see, Sen's smart. Sen's very slimy. When I called him out for all of this shit, especially the racist comments, Sen tried to bring up the fact that in the past, I had associated with a content creator called Pyman. Now, his point wasn't that I supported anything discriminatory that Pyman did in any way. His point was that I liked a completely unrelated reply to one of my tweets from Pyman. Now, if this doesn't come across to you as reaching, then I don't know what does, but to explain to you why Sen is trying to use Pyman as a gotcha moment against me, so Pyman is a content creator who released one video in particular where he did blackface. By the way, Pyman's a POC, and also he had a swastika on his shirt as a post sign. It was intended to be a joke, and Pyman was basically being like, haha, you shouldn't hire me because I'll be a liability to your company, which is a joke that I completely disagree with personally, and it's not my type of humor. I'm not the type of person that finds edgy humor funny in any way. I like edgy humor when it discriminates towards me, and it's between people I'm close with and know they're joking, but this type of humor isn't my type of humor, and when I saw this from Pyman, I actually DM'd him, saying I disavowed it, and telling him he should delete it so it doesn't stay on his record for the rest of his life, considering his face is literally attached to it. It's like, if employers searched up his face in any records, they'd probably find this video, which is not going to be good for Pyman's future reputation, and I told him that, because I didn't agree with this video. Upon seeing this video, I also unfollowed Pyman on Twitter, because that's not the type of content I just want to see on my timeline in general, and Pyman understands that. But because Kai called out Sen for complimenting and saying Lamau in reply to this video, Sen's trying to make it seem like I support Pyman's controversial posts, and trying to make it seem like in any way I agree with Pyman's post, or that I am in any way a bad person because I didn't publicly disavow Pyman, but I publicly disavowed Sen. But what Sen's not understanding here is that I have never publicly associated with Pyman in my content. However, I appeared on a live stream with Sen, which means that a lot of my audience may have gone over and supported Sen. As such, I have to publicly denounce Sen's behavior, as I don't support it and I don't want my audience believing I do. I don't want that to be my audience. I don't want my audience to be built up of racists and transphobes. But Sen tried to use this whole Pyman thing against me, despite me literally only liking a completely unrelated tweet from Pyman, and it shows how manipulative Sen is. Sen will use anything to try and get ahead of you, and will trying to make it seem like a gacha moment, where he's like, haha, look, now you're the one that's bad, because you liked an unrelated tweet in reply to one of your tweets, which is unrelated. I don't support anything Pyman said, and you can like one tweet in particular out of someone's tweets, or reply to it without agreeing with their terrible behavior. That should come without any surprise. For example, there's videos with PewDiePie where he's made collaborations with people that have political opinions that a lot of people don't agree with. That doesn't mean that PewDiePie by extension supports those political opinions. However, what it does mean is that PewDiePie made a completely unrelated piece of content with a person, which was a you laugh you lose, with someone that in that content doesn't discriminate in any way. By the way, if you're wondering who the controversial creator I'm referencing is, it's Ben Shapiro. You see, that's irrelevant to the argument though, because what PewDiePie produced with Ben Shapiro was non-discriminatory, in no way caused any harm, and in no way implied that PewDiePie agreed with any of the beliefs that Ben Shapiro held. And that's the difference between Pieman and Sen. But I'm pretty sure that any one of my viewers, or anyone in general for that matter, can comprehend the fact that Sen is making up shit about me and trying to insinuate that I'm way worse of a person than I am to try and get criticism off of his back. This is the same technique that Prisonmate Luke used, which makes me feel like Sen is very similar to Prisonmate Luke. This is the two-quote fallacy, which is where you reply to criticism with criticism in a way to try and negate the original criticism given to you. And that's a technique Sen is using here to get any backlash off of his back by being like, no, because you do the same. You see, I caught you. You're exposed now, which takes away no merit from the original allegations made against Sen, nor would it prove him innocent of any of the claims I made against him. But that's where I'm going to end this video. If you have enjoyed it or believe that I'm making fair points here, please do leave a like and subscribe. These videos take a lot of work to produce, and as such, I genuinely appreciate any support on this video so I can make more videos just like this one, where I give my thoughts on various different topics like this one. If you have enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe to the channel and help me join the 50,000 subscriber gang by turning on notifications, subscribing, and leaving a like on this video to promote it to more people. I want this video to go out to as many people that have seen my content as possible, so they know that I don't agree with Sen, and so that they're aware of Sen's disgraceful actions. So if you could share this video on multiple different platforms, that would genuinely be appreciated, and would help me get the word out about this whole situation. With that being said though, feel free to check out my other social media like my Twitter, Discord, and everything else linked down below in the description. Like on my Twitter, I've been talking to Sen, making some of these claims about Sen, and there's a whole lot more in this Twitter that gets covered, so if you want to check out my Twitter, you can, and it would be highly appreciated. Just like that, my Discord also has a lot of posts that I've made about this sort of situation. We have a drama discussion chat where I talk about some of the topics, and also you can get to see other people's opinions there in a huge, very active community that has a lot of information for you if you do need it. But with that being said, thank you for watching. I do appreciate you watching the whole way to the end of this video. If you have, comment Sen is cringe. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, thanks for all of the recent support, it's blown my mind, and peace.
Said she wanna rock with it like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap with it like me. We can catch a fly. Said she wanna rock with it like me.